Hey, what's up, Rec students? Frank here from AFP, and today we're going to be talking about a really iconic rock song by the band Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. So before we get into this lesson, I just wanted to say that if you're using an electric guitar and you're going through an amp, you might want to consider turning on your distortion channel if you have one, and just raising the gain a tad, and just having a really beefy distortion for this song, because it just makes it sound a lot more impactful and accurate to the original song. But yeah, let's get right into it. So for this song, we're going to be using mainly power chords. And before I get into the rhythm of the song, I'm just going to go over the chords real quick. We're going to start with an F power chord, which is your index on the first fret of the E string and your ring finger on the third fret of the A string. And we're not going to play the whole we're not going to play all 6 strings like this. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we are going to make the shape of the F power chord by putting our fingers in those places, but what the index finger is doing is it's gliding over the D, G, B, and E strings. So if I have my index finger on the first fret of the E and my ring finger on the third fret of the A, I should only be striking the E and A strings and not hearing any of the other strings. So it should sound like this. You can't really hear the other strings. So you're only using these top 2 strings, really. Well, the lower strings, I should say, the low E and A. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slide down a string to B flat, which is putting your index finger on the first fret of the A and your ring finger on the third fret of the D string. So we're basically just going like this. We're just shifting over a string and keeping that shape. But what we're going to do is with this index finger, just like I said, we're only focusing on these 2 strings, much like the way we were in the F power chord. So we don't want to hear the D. You don't want to hear the G, B, and E strings, and you also don't want to hear the low E for this one because we're transitioning. We just want to hear the A and D strings. So it should sound like this. Now, keeping the shape, we're going to slide down to the 4th fret of the E and have our index finger on the 4th fret of the E, and we're going to put our ring finger on the 6th fret of the A. And we're just focusing it on these 2 strings here. You're not letting the rest of the D, G, B, and high E strings ring. So all together it should sound like this. Now this power chord right here is A flat. So much like the transition between F and B flat, we're going to move down a string and put our index finger on the 4th fret of the A string and our ring finger on the 6th fret of the D string, and together that should sound like this. But I'm only focusing on those 2 strings. So all together we got something that sounds like this. Just get comfortable doing that for a second. I'll even zoom up. You can hear how chunky that sounds just with those 2 strings, just focusing on just keeping it 2 strings at a time, it sounds really, beefy. So now let's talk about the rhythm. Down, up, down, chugga, chugga. And that chugga, chugga is a down, up, down. So it's down, up, down, chugga, chugga. Down, up, down, chugga, chugga. Transition to B flat. Down, down. Down, up, down to A flat. Chugga, chugga. Transition to D flat. Down, down. Chugga, chugga. Chugga, chugga. Chugga, chugga. Sorry. Chugga, chugga. So on the chugga, chugga, what you want to do is you want to after you've gotten comfortable with the structure of how those transitions go, you want to kind of relax your hand on the chugs. I don't really have a term for that part, so we're going to call it the chugs. You're going to really want to relax your hand, because what you get is you get these little harmonics that come out of the strings when you're not pressing down on them, but you're just like relaxing your hand. You can kind of hear it. You hear that? It's like chugga, chugga. So that kind of is what makes this, I think, guitar solo really, sorry, I said guitar solo. This guitar riff really freaking iconic, because those chugs in between just really just add like a character to it. And just keep practicing. Get a little faster. And get a little faster. A little faster. So now, what happens is we go into the verses, and the guitars kind of drop out. And what Kurt does is that he takes his index finger, and he puts it on the B and E strings, the B and high E, that is, on the first fret, and just goes. So you would strike the B string first, and then the E string, and just let them ring out. So altogether, what we got is, sorry, wrong player. Just let it ring out. And that Smells Like Teen Spirit. It basically repeats after the verse, goes right back into the chorus, and goes back into when the lights out, this is dangerous, here we are now, entertainers, I feel stupid. So, stay tuned, and for my next video, I'm going to kind of break down the bass part, which is very similar to this. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, stay tuned for one more video. Right on.